Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. While the Vatican is waging a battle against gender politics in Italy using its sovereign status, the Catholic bishops of Cuba are engaged in a similar struggle. The bishops have staunchly opposed a resolution that makes gender ideology part of school curricula. Bishops have slammed the new resolution drafted by the National Center for Sex Education for saying that the differences between men and women are a mere cultural and conventional constructions made according to the stereotypes assigned by society. The prelate said it is necessary that sex education should be done with parental guidance, stressing that the input of parents is essential in all forms of collaboration with teachers and school authorities in drafting the educational policy. In the U.S. state of Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards vetoed a legislation on Tuesday, June 22nd, that would have required publicly funded schools to allow student athletes to compete only on teams corresponding to their biological sex. The governor said that discrimination is not a Louisiana value, while explaining why he vetoed the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. Edwards said that the bill was a solution to a problem that simply did not exist in his state. The governor also said that the bill would have made life more difficult for transgender children, who are some of the most vulnerable when it comes to issues such as mental health. The bill was passed by a vote of 29-6 in the state Senate and 78-19 in the state House. In Scotland, a new bill that legalizes assisted suicide has been opposed by the church as well as a lawmaker. Anthony Horan, director of the Catholic Parliamentary Office, an agency of the Episcopal Conference, said that the bill will have a harmful impact on individuals and families. He said legalizing assisted suicide puts pressure on vulnerable people to end their lives for fear of being a financial or emotional burden to others. Another outspoken critic of the bill is parliamentarian Pam Duncan Glancy, who is physically challenged. She said on Twitter that the bill was dangerous for disabled people, adding that the government must ensure better living conditions for the disabled. Introduced by Liberal Democrat Liam MacArthur, the content of the bill is slated to be discussed later this year. A Christian cemetery in Indonesia was found vandalized on Monday, June 21st. Police said the criminal act was done by a dozen students at an elementary school. At least 12 graves were desecrated at the Cimoro Kembar Cemetery in Solo Town in central Java province. The mayor expressed outrage at the incident and has demanded punishment for the culprits, as well as closure of their school. Although the motive behind the act of vandalism is unclear, investigators have not ruled out radical indoctrination in the school. Father Harry Wibowo, the executive secretary of the Interreligious Commission of the Episcopal Conference of Indonesia, said that although the children accused of the crime cannot be prosecuted, they must be reprimanded by their parents. Catholics in Chile have started a prayer campaign seeking the guidance of the Holy Spirit as a new constitution is being drafted. On Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m., believers will take part in the Rosary of Hope and pray for the 155 people elected to draft the new constitution that replaces the one introduced by the military dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet in 1980. A lay group named A Rosary for Chile has been promoting the Rosary campaign since December last year, following the referendum to have a new constitution. The lay group said in a statement that apart from interceding for those drafting the Constitution, the Rosary recitation also seeks the sanctification of priests and an increase in religious vocations. The Catholic bishops of Austria have called upon the legislature to bring more restrictive measures to prevent the legalization of assisted suicide in the country. Archbishop Franz Lochner, president of the Bishops' Conference of Austria, made this call at the end of their summer plenary session. Last December, the Constitutional Court of Austria ruled that the ban on assisted suicide was unconstitutional as it violates the right to self-determination. Archbishop Lackner has demanded that prevention must remain the state's declared objective in the field of health. The prelate also warned about the, quote, risk of entering into a situation where a distinction is made between good and bad suicide. As the law allowing voluntary assisted suicide comes into force in Western Australia on July 1st, Archbishop Timothy Costello of Perth has reaffirmed the Catholic Church's perennial teaching with respect to the sacredness of life. The new law will allow a terminally ill person to access drugs that cause death and permit a person to assist someone who is unable to administer those drugs themselves. In a pastoral letter issued on Wednesday, June 23rd, the Archbishop stressed the Church's position on preserving the sanctity of life in all stages. The prelate said it is important to provide love and support to the sick, the dying, and the elderly. Archbishop Costello also sought prayers and encouragement for all staff of Catholic care homes, hospitals, and nursing homes, pledging to provide the best palliative care to the terminally ill in all church-run institutions. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.